Too early to write off Jacob Zuma, the chess master. When you bite indiscriminately, you end up eating your own tail, goes a wise Zulu saying. Has Zuma bitten his own tail? Some people seem to think so. After all, he's been expelled from the ANC, lost out on governing with his breakaway MK party, which has been relegated to the opposition benches in KZN despite an overwhelming provincial victory at the polls. The tsunami of MK has settled, leaving it with aftermath of political destruction and the GNU GPU mopping up operation. But is it a dead end for MK and Zuma? Can a party which emerged the third largest in the country less than 6 months after formation really haemorrhage as quickly as its success? I spoke to a number of MK supporters, ordinary people, youth, domestic workers, business owners, government officials, academics, and many more. And the insights of all the elections was interesting and revealing. For 28 years old Sne, a restaurant worker in Durban, is the end of the road for voting. It was my first time voting and I'm disappointed for now. I feel I wasted my vote on MK. They should be in power, not just enjoy the benefit in parliament, said the single mother. That sense of democracy is a far cry from her sentiments before the elections when she was part of the MK fever sweeping KZN. The palpable energy, the excitement of Umsheni Wame, which turned the province into a green and black stronghold. Now Sine feels betrayed, her life back to the ground, her hopes for change crushed, and convinced that the GNU is the answer. Or maybe it's too soon to tell. She needs time. But for Nomsa, a 48-year-old senior government official and MK supporter, the party will make a comeback. These are growing pains, early development. Maybe she's taking her role in the arts sector too seriously in comparing it to the MK startup, but I get it. MK will be back, but we need to see stability. They still represent traditional Zulu values and is the only party true to these principles. They were not willing to be adopted by the DA, and we're proud of that. These are formative years for them, and they will experience all the developmental phases as they transition from baby to adulthood. And we will be here to support them through it, explains Nomsa. It's a sentiment that's most expressed and is an indication of the natural character of Zulu people, prone to forgiveness but never forgetting. Their blood past sacrifices and fights to retain the Zulu pride, identity and values can be forgotten. And Zuma ensures that. It's this sense of loyalty which also leads itself to forgiveness. Much like the forgiveness of the ANC over the years, despite its flaws and failures. With parties in the GNU running a popularity contest, each crying to outsmart the other, it's clear the goal is now on the 2026 local government elections. The key to making things happen at a local level and ensuring their party takes credit. And according to MK insiders, the local elections is what the party aims to work on without the baggage of the GNU. It's going to be a tough comeback. Battered, bruised, and for some, the MK is seen as having won the battle but lost the war. But Zuma's comeback has always been greater than his setback. There is a sense for many in KwaZulu-Natal, even if not in the country, that loyalty to Zuma must continue. It's a fascinating insight which challenges and rejects political through an analysis. It goes against the tribe of Zuma the corrupt. His expulsion from the ANC may not be a further blow to him, but instead play well into his victim mood and strengthen rather than weaken his popularity. For MK to regain the lost confidence amongst many of its more than 4 million supporters, it will mean proving it can be trusted again with a vote. It will require internal stability, unity, and move away from the perception of MK being a family business. The hard fact is it cannot behave like the EFF in parliament and expect to win support or depend on Duduzile as the face of the party. Zuma is still the trump card of MK and nobody comes close in the party despite all his flaws. His party won the majority with all that. But his traditional values which endear him to the vast majority of MK supporters can be central to the party without being consumed by it. We are proud of the Zulu monarchy. We uphold the values, but that doesn't make us a Zulu party. We want inclusivity, says MK senior leader Muzi Tingela. Just how it renews itself over the next year ahead of the local elections will determine its longevity in politics and cement its role to come. That turnaround will be the biggest test of the party, and the internal squabbles of the GNU and GPU plays right into MKP's game plan. Its 45.9% of support in KwaZulu-Natal remain a powerful tool if they play their cards well. Their loss in the recent by-elections is a reminder of the fragility of politics. But Zuma is not finished yet, despite his expulsion, despite the election outcomes. Zulus are forgiving, but they don't forget. That means it's not the checkmate, not just yet, and Zuma is a master chess player. Time will tell if he still has what it takes to win the game. We are proud of the Zulu monarchy. We uphold the values, but that doesn't make us a Zulu party. We want inclusivity, says MK senior leader Muzi Tingela. Just how it renews itself over the next year ahead of the local elections will determine its longevity in politics and cement its role to come. That turnaround will be the biggest test of the party, and the internal squabbles of the GNU and GPU plays right into MKP's game plan. Its 45.9% of support in KwaZulu-Natal remain a powerful tool if they play their cards well. Their loss in the recent by-elections is a reminder of the fragility of politics. But Zuma is not finished yet, despite his expulsion, despite the election outcomes. Zulus are forgiving, but they don't forget. That means it's not the checkmate, not just yet, and Zuma is a master chess player. Time will tell if he still has what it takes to win the game. Meanwhile, Ramaphosa urges ANC members to serve the people, says posting lavish lifestyles one helps them remain in power. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.